everyone, this is Barbie with Jeannie's Designs. This is what we're making today. The Bella Bucket Bag by Oro Rosa. It is, I would say it's a medium to large bag. It has a crossbody strap and then it has a shoulder strap. A double shoulder strap, which is pretty cool. And inside you have a zipper closure. You have a slip pocket on one side over here. And then you have a divided pocket. So the whole bag is divided. I love it. I do. I love it. It's a very cute bag. So the Bella Bucket Bag by Oro Rosa. Go get the pattern and let's get started. Hi everyone, this is Barbie with Jeannie's Designs. And I'm getting ready to make a new pattern by Oro Rosa, the Bella Bucket Bag. So you'll see, before this, you'll see the finished product, but here's the pattern. It just came out, and obviously they've given me permission to do their patterns, but I don't always do brand new patterns because it honestly depends on the pattern. I love this pattern. Oh, there's some light here. There we go. So I'm going to make one and I'm going to use Thor because I can use my operative leg. It's a beautiful thing. So let's go over the pieces. Pattern piece A is the main panel and I'm doing it out of this caramel faux leather. This is from Sailrite. So there are 2 of those. And what goes with that is 2 main stabilizer, and she gives you the pattern piece for that. So 2 of those. I haven't put them on there yet, but I will. And then pattern piece B is the bottom gusset. I'm sorry, C and D. C is the bottom, and D is the pattern, the Decaville Heavy for that. And so far I am using all Decaville Heavy. This is not a birth bag, it's a drop-in lining, so I'm okay with using Decaville Heavy. Pattern piece E is the exterior lining top trim, and I'm using the caramel. The main lining, this is what I'm using. This is Theratex from Fabric Therapy. So there's no interfacing on that. 2 of those. Pattern piece G, the divider pocket exterior, is out of the lining. 2 of those. Then I have the bottom trim, which I'm doing out of kind of a creamy cork. Let me turn this light on. There, that might help. Kind of a cream cork. So I'm using faux leather and vinyl. And cork. We'll see how it goes. 2 zipper panels out of the cork. Let's see. The divider trim out of the cork. The crossbody strap out of the cork. And then this is she has a crossbody strap and 2 handles. So I have 1 out of the cork and 1 out of the faux leather. Very cute. I can't wait. Here's a piece of trim. This is the slip pocket. So that's the trim for the slip pocket. These are the connectors out of the cork. This is the divider trim facing out of the Theratex, and then my divider lining out of the Theratex. Now, because I'm using Theratex for the divider pocket, I'm going to see how it comes together. I may decide to put some, interfacing on it. I haven't quite decided yet, but my hardware is I'm going to use, it's a Beautiful Thing tag and one of my tags. I'm using 2 antique gold swivel cloths, a a wide mouth slide adjuster, 2 D-rings, and I haven't decided, because I haven't done this before. Oh, so I need 4 antique swivel glasses. So I need to get 2 more of those for the handle. Some strap-ins, and then I'll have some rivets. And then I need to, I had some zipper tape. Don't know what I did with it. So I'll go get my zipper tape. So that's it. Let's get started. All right. So if you notice, I have a new piece here. This is the narrow flatbed from Recent Relics. I haven't used it yet. Actually, I have. And it works really great. It has one more extension, which I'm not going to use right now. We'll see how it goes. All right, I'm going to do my 2 handles. So I have 2 handles. They're the same length. I'm folding them in and then on themselves again. So they'll end up being 1/2 inch. Then I'm going to do my crossbody. So I'll do all that on fast forward. All right, something to keep in mind, and I say this every time I do a strap or anything, leave a little gap in between when you fold it. That way when you fold it over, it's not folding on itself and making it really thick right here. Okay? All right, let's do this on fast forward. All right, I don't think it recorded, but look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I'm using Caramel Tech 70. And it just looks beautiful. So I put my slide adjuster on with 2 rivets. And now I'm just adding my swivel clasp. And I'll add 2 rivets there as well. All right, so there's my crossbody strap. Now let's do our handles, which will end up being 1/2 inch. Little guys. All right, so you saw me, my top thread got caught over here. So I had to unwind it, and it was quite the, and I just left that. But now we're going to sew these ends together. Make sure that they're the same length. And I'm going to use a couple of my big clips. So I'm just going to baste them together. So just make sure that they are the same length. So that is equal. Except I don't like that side. So pick a side that you like for the outside. It doesn't really matter. Both are going to actually be seen, but I always like to pick my best side for the top. All right, then we're going to fold these down, and they are, I think I'll sew these together and then I'll trim the other ones if I need to. So I'm just basting the ends together. All right, so you have those, and they are together, isn't it? Oh, you guys, it's going to be so cute. Now, get your swivel clasp. That's my good side, okay. And then we're going to fold these over, and we will add a strap in. You don't have to do these handles. I think it adds to the bag, but you certainly do not have to do these handles. You could just do the crossbody. Look at that. Okay, I'm going to put some rivets, one rivet, and then I'm going to put my strap ends on. Okay, so I put 2 rivets, and now I'm just putting my strap ends on. Strap ends are optional. I kind of decided I was going to because I like the way it looked. Now, if I did it again, I would probably leave a little more room for me to get in there with my screw. I'm going to have to remagnetize this. Beautiful. Somebody recently asked me where you get extra screws. And for example, this set came with 5 screws. You only need 4. So you can save one for the next time if you lose one. That's what I do. All right, so there's that one. So there's my 2 rivets and my strap ends. I would probably leave a little more room there than I did on this one. It's a little tight. It's fine, but it's a little tight. All right, so I've done a couple things that you don't necessarily need to see. Choose where you're going to put your tag. And I just put it on one side of my main panel, and I measured up 3 inches. Now, find the center of your bottom panel long ways and short ways. And then she gives you good directions for putting your feet in. Now, feet are optional. You don't have to use feet, but it's a good size bag, medium, at least at a minimum. So I think it's always a good idea to have feet in that side of this size of a bag. Now I've already got Decaville Heavy on the bottom. So I am going to put little anchors on here. I don't want to break a nail. I know, isn't that terrible? Sometimes they're really hard to open. And I just don't want to. Okay, and then I am going to put a piece of leftover fusible fleece just to cover these up. And I'll do the rest of these on fast forward. All right, take your main panel and your bottom, and I marked all my centers, so we're going to clip that together and sew it together at the seam allowance in the pattern. And don't be alarmed if your pieces, because this one was cut on the fold. Sometimes when you cut things on the fold, they end up being bigger than they should be. And don't worry about that. It's going to happen. Oops. And it'll be fine. All right, so then we are going to, since I can't really press these down, I'm just going to hold them, and we're going to do a row of top stitching on the main panel and a row of top stitching on the bottom. Let me fix my thread first. All right, here we go. You can feel underneath just to make sure they're nice and flat. Kind of watching my thread. Okay, and let's do the other side. Okay, beautiful. Now, I think I'm going to put my beautiful thing tag, but I'm not going to put it on the same side over here. I got to decide that. All right, so we're going to repeat that on the other side, and I'll do that on fast forward. All right, the other thing she suggests you do is trim away any excess on those seams that you just top stitched. So just like that, right here on this side. That just decreases the bulk. There's many ways to decrease the bulk, really. You could cut that and before you even sew it. So this is an easy way to do it, really. Now, this is the back. So I think I am the back or the front. It honestly doesn't matter. I am going to put my tag on here. I already have my centers marked. Perfect. All right, so take your outside pieces, your main pieces that we just finished, and we're going to draw a line like she tells you to in the pattern. And I'm just going to freehand it for the most part. And then we're going to add a piece of double-sided tape right along there. Actually, I'm going to snip it first along the curve. Just little snips, about half of the seam allowance. Okay, and then we'll add some double-sided tape. And we're going to repeat this on the other side. Okay. Okay. Remember, this is a drop-in lining, so. Okay, now we're going to put these two together. Match your side seams down here on the bottom. And the one thing I forgot is when you're doing that second row of stitches, I'm just going to leave this because I have plenty, but start at about 1 inch down from the top. So when you put the bag together, you can splay that open. It just will help. It's not critical, especially if you're using a domestic, a industrial, but I think it does make a difference. Okay. Now we're going to trim that by about half. Except for that top little piece. I still do it, even though I'm using it in industrial. I think it helps reduce the bulk there at that seam. Okay. Now we're going to take our base. Let's just see how our... Oh, we did pretty good. Okay. So now this, we are going to put right sides together. And I may staple. I'm going to see how it feels. But I may staple it. We'll see. And we're just going to clip that all the way around. Okay, let's just clip our straight edge around the curve. I don't... All right, that went pretty well. I did go around twice. I know it was hard to see, but I did not staple, and I didn't think I needed it. I don't know if it's the materials or just the curve of this, but you may find it's easier to staple. I put about 1,000 clips on. That's an exaggeration, but it really went pretty well. I don't know if it had to do with the using the cylinder arm, but it was not hard at all. Actually, I was kind of surprised. All right, then trim your seam. And let's turn it right side out. See how we did. All right, so the next step is to fold our seam down. And we're just going to clip as we go. And I'm going to use these clips because they don't mark as bad. And because we're going to set this aside while we do the inside. Clipping really, I think, it does make a difference. I don't always clip these this is a fairly gentle curve, but I still think it's a good idea to clip it. Trying to get the paper off here. There we go. And then on your sides, you're going to fold that down, open your seam. It's not required, but I think it will really help when you put the bag together. I'm using Thor, so it's not as big of a deal for me because Thor is a beast. All right. Let's see how we did here. And get a couple more clips. All right, looks pretty good. Oh, this side's a little too far down. Yeah. Oh, the paper's not off. I wonder why it wasn't sticking. There we go. That's better. All right. Pretty good. All right, so that's what you have so far. Isn't that perfect? Oh my. All right, next step. It's a beautiful thing. All right, so we're gonna do the slip pocket. And she does it in an interesting way. And I wasn't gonna do it, and then I decided, oh, I think I will. Okay, so I don't need, oh, hold on. Okay, so take your double-sided tape along one edge, and we're just folding that to itself, matching the long edge. Okay, now we're going to clip the raw edge to one right side of the slip pocket. This is very interesting. So leaving about a ½ inch on each side. All right. All right, wait a minute. All right, and then fold the right sides together on your slip pocket and clip with the clips that are in place. You can baste it. You could baste it definitely if you didn't want to just use your clips. And now we're going to stitch down one side across the top and leave an opening here on this side using a seam allowance in the pattern. Very interesting. So obviously across the top, you're doing a much smaller seam allowance than you're doing on the sides. Okay, I left about 3 inches. Now we're just going to trim this. Turn it right side out. Honestly, I don't think I've ever done a trim like this. I like it because you don't see the raw edge of the accent trim. The trim is in the seam allowance. Very interesting. I mean, you see it on the sides because it's raw vinyl, but I like it. See, every time you do a new pattern, you learn something new. I love that. And this is one reason why it's a good idea to follow the patterns, because you do learn something new. So there you go. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Okay. So now I'm going to turn this in on itself to do my seam. so that when I put it on the lining piece, we will close our turning hole. There you go. I love it. Now it's just top stitch here. She doesn't have you back stitch, but I am going to back stitch. Okay. I'm going to go iron that because it's not very, doesn't look too good. It's got all those creases. All right, so attach it to, excuse me, one of your lining pieces where she tells you to in the pattern. All right, now she has you put some rivets in here, and I think I will, just for a little decorative. I have some rivets left over. That are smaller. So I think I'm going to use this. They're tiny. They're tiny little things. And we're just going to put those inside our stitches right on the trim. And I will put a little piece of Decaville, since this lining has no stabilizer. Actually, this is Lux Fuse. These are such tiny, I'll show you here in a second how small they are. I don't know, the ones I have are 9 to 10 millimeter. These have to be 6 probably. They're very tiny. They serve, they serve a good purpose for something like this, so. All right, let me go press them, and then I'll show you what they look like, how tiny they are. All right, so take your trim, your divider trim facing, mark a rectangle just like you normally would for a zipper facing. It's got kind of, so just like that. And then turn it over and do the same thing on this side, except for put a piece of double-sided tape down the middle. Take your divider trim. This is very interesting. I'm going to follow the directions, but I may have to read them. And we're going to add that to our divider trim right on top of a line that she tells you to draw. Oops. I think I need to put this on the right side. Hold please. Yeah. Yeah. So we're just gonna measure up and we're gonna add this to the right side, centered. Very interesting. So just like that. Okay, next step. Okay. Now we are going to just stitch our box, just like any other zipper. Very interesting. Okay, and then you're going to cut that hole just like any other zipper facing. Yeah. We're going to put some tape on here, and I need to put tape on here because it'll never stay if I don't, because it's Vertex. She even has you put a little piece on the side here, which I like. And I put this one up too far. So I'm going to do that over again. Just below your stitch line. And just outside your stitch line. Okay. So now when you pull this in, you'll have something to stick it to. So I used cork. It really depends on what you're using, how well this will stick. I may need to put some additional tape. We'll see. Probably will. Yeah. That's okay. So I'm going to put some additional tape right here so it'll stay down. And that's just mainly because if you have something you can iron, that would help. But I don't, because Theratix just doesn't iron. It just won't. It irons, but you can iron it, but it doesn't stay. It doesn't give you a nice crease. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. Much better. Okay. Oh gosh, you guys, it's funny. If your machine cannot handle this double-sided tape, then I would make sure you're using something that you can iron. Or you could glue it, I suppose. Okay. All right, let me put a little piece of tape on the sides. There's a reason she has you do this, so I'm just following the directions. I kind of looked ahead and it looks very brilliant, actually. I almost always learn something new with Oro Rosa patterns. She does a very nice job. Okay, we're almost there. Now, if it doesn't, if your lining is showing through, just realign that. You know, sometimes I don't mind, but this time I do. So there you go. There's my zipper placket, or my zipper hole. All right, next step. All right, so take your zipper divider pocket lining is right side up, and your zipper is right side up. And we're going to stitch that similar same pattern. Okay. All right, then turn that and we're going to baste that down. Hold on. Yeah. So we're going to sew, just baste that down. Just like you've done with million zippers. Just so it lays nice and flat. Kind of funny, Thor doesn't even, I mean, this is almost too thin for Thor. It's hilarious, really. And now we're going to do the same thing on this side. Just make sure that your divider pockets are nice and aligned. Okay. Same thing on this side. Okay, and turn that over and baste that zipper tape down. Okay, now we're going to add our zipper pull. So that's what you have. You have the wrong side of your, and it just should be, that's exactly, the right side of your zipper pocket is on the inside, and there's the right side of our zipper tape. Okay, next step. All right, now take your zipper, and with it going to the left, add some double-side tape to your zipper, just like any other. And now we are going to add this divider trim piece. Okay. And just get it on there nice and centered. All right, so just like that. And now we're going to stitch all the way around that. So that's what you have. So you've got your divider trim, and you got your divider lining. Very cute. All right, next step. All right, so now clip your lining. Here's your facing, and here's your lining. Clip those together, and then she suggests doing it in 2 steps, which I'm going to do just a little different than her. You're going to sew all 3 sides. I'm just starting up a little higher than she did. Okay, we're going to go as far as we can. And then I'll finish this other side. I'm probably getting ready to run out of bobbins, so I'll check that here in a minute. Okay. All right, so now you have a completed divider pocket. Look at that. All right, next step. All right, so you're going to take your facing, and we're going to add our outer pocket right sides together. And we're going to sew that at the seam allowance in the pattern. Okay, so I trimmed only the divider trim, not the pocket, at 1/8 of an inch. Now we're going to fold that, and we're going to top stitch with the seam going towards the exterior pocket, not the trim. Okay, so that's what you have. The seam that we created is now down behind here. And we're going to repeat that on the other side. Well, okay, so the next thing is clip your exterior divider pocket together. And then we're going to mark up from the bottom. And we're just going to put a little tick mark on the side. Okay. And then we're creating a seam that comes down like this. Just like that. From that mark down to the bottom. Very interesting. Uh-oh, all place. Okay, so you can just mark it, but we're kind of coming at the edge and going down. So just like that. And then we're going to stitch that and the sides. Very interesting. I'm going to run out of bobbin one of these moments here. So I'm just going to do these little pieces first. Okay, and let's do this other side, and then we'll do the sides. So I'm just repeating that on this side. I think I'm almost out of bobbin. It's acting up. Let's see if I can finish this part. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and change my bobbin. I'll be right back. All right, so then trim these, and she said to do it with pinking shears. I just trimmed it. Now we are going to turn this right side out. We're not doing these sides yet. Okay, and we're gonna clip these together. And you want that inside pocket to lay pretty flat. Okay. And now we're gonna just base the sides and the bottom. Okay, let's do the bottom. And let's do this other side. I'm going to trim off my excess zipper. All right, next step. All right, so take your divider pocket and make sure you mark the center of your bottom and set that aside. Now we're going to do our little butler method on our zipper for our zipper placket. Okay, let's do the other side. Now, on both of your zipper pieces, your zipper placket pieces, she tells you to mark down a certain distance. Let me get better organized. Hold on. All right, so take your zipper plackets and mark down what she tells you to in the pattern and put a piece of double-sided tape. And we're going to fold those to the line. I'm using cork for this. And fold those over. The nice thing about doing it this way, if one ends up being short or long, you can lift up the double-sided tape and make it shorter or longer. It's kind of nice. I really like it. All right, next step. All right, so take your zipper panels, fold them in half, and mark the center. And I just put little tick marks. And then on that side, put a piece of double-sided tape, and we're going to put our zipper face down. The raw edge is aligning. So just like that on both sides. And I left about probably 1/8 of an inch away from my center mark. Now we are going to fold those down and clip that in place, and then we're going to sew that together. The one thing you do want to make sure of, and I'm going to do this, I should have done it earlier, is that each of these panels are exactly or pretty close to the same size. They should be. Famous last words. Oh my gosh. Yep, they're perfect. All right, now we're going to sew that together at the seam allowance in the pattern. Okay, now we're going to just, I'm not going to be able to trim it because my zipper's right there. If you didn't put it as close as I did, you might be able to. Now let's just turn this right side out. Because I'm using cork, it's a little easier, I will say. That does help. So that's what you should have. So let me do that on this side. Okay, and turn that right side out, and then we will top stitch both of these. And we'll close our the other two sides, the raw edge sides. Actually, there's only one raw edge, so we'll close the raw edge in this one and top stitch next to the zipper. So you should, that's what you should have. Beautiful. Okay. And there you have your zipper placket. Now I made mine 1 inch longer than she tells you to in the pattern. I may regret that, but I did. So there you go. There's your zipper placket. All right, next step. All right, I put my zipper pull on and I got my lining with the slip pocket, and we're gonna put that, we're just gonna base that in place. Eighth of an inch. And I marked my centers. Okay. And now we're going to add it to our other lining. Which I haven't marked my centers, so I'll do that. We're getting to the home stretch here. Okay. So I put my zipper pull on for a reason, because if I don't have it, excuse me, on, then I inevitably put this on wrong. And I don't like to do it. Now you can take your zipper pull off, or you could just pull it down. It's up to you. Okay. Let's base this side in place. Okay. So there you have your zipper top, and your linings are right sides together. Love it. Next step. All right, so take your top trim piece, and she has you mark 2 lines. I'll show you how I do it. So I mark one of them, and then I mark the second. All the way along. Just little tick marks. And then you connect the dots. It's the easiest way I've ever found to do it, personally. Okay, so I have little tick marks. And now I'm just going to connect those freehand. All right, we don't have tons of time because I'm afraid in fact, I'm gonna just mark it with a pen because I think mine will disappear. It's not gonna be seen. I don't want to be tied to a disappearing line. Okay. Now, take your lining pieces and mark your centers. On these pieces, on the straight side. And we're going to add these on each side. Straight side to straight side. And we're going to sew that with the seam allowance in the pattern. Okay. Okay. Let's do the other side, and then we'll trim the trim piece, that seam, just on one side, exactly like we did the other one. She's just trying to decrease the bulk, which is really probably pretty good. If you use cotton or cotton canvas, this would definitely be a domestic friendly pattern. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let's trim down this piece. To 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so just like that, that's what you should have. We'll repeat that on this other side. Perfect. Okay, then we're gonna fold that up and top stitch with that seam allowance below. Top stitching on the lining piece with that seam allowance going down. Your zipper placket is up. Okay, let's do that on the other side. All right, next step. Okay, so take your lining piece with your slip pocket. Make sure that your zippers for your divider pocket and your top zipper are closing the same way. Mark down what she tells you in the pattern and attach that slip pocket there. And then we're going to baste that on what she tells you to in the pattern. So not a full seam. Okay. So that's what you should have. So my top zipper is going closing that way, and this divider pocket is closing the other way. All right, so now take your other lining, and we're going to align those two together and stitch down that side. And that's your little side top seam there. So our divider pocket, it does make it a little thicker. Okay. So that's what you have. So here's your divider pocket and your two lining pieces. This is so cute how this comes together. All right, let me check my bobbin. Hold on. Okay. We're good. We should be good till we finish. Let's see. All right, then we're going to pull our divider pocket over and attach it that measurement in the pattern and baste that in place. Yep. Okay, and then we'll do that other side seam. Okay, there we go. Then we'll trim those seams. All right, let's trim these seams. And I'm going to leave about an inch or so on the top there, untrimmed. Okay, so that's what you have. Next step. All right, so now you marked your centers on your divider pocket and on your main linings, and we're going to pull those together, centered, and clip them together, and we're going to sew at the seam allowance in the pattern. It's going to feel weird because, you know, you're pulling your main panels down, but only until we get this sewn, and then we'll do the sides. I like how this is done, actually. All right, let's sew that together. Now we're going to sew the sides. And you really should look in there just to make sure there's no raw edges. And I caught all my pocket. That's what we're really looking for. And now we're just going to sew the corners. It's not a box corner because it's curved, but it is a corner. It's a curved corner. Again, look on this side, make sure there aren't any raw edges showing. Match up your centers. It really comes together pretty easily. I don't know what she calls this. If this is probably intermediate, would be my guess. But like I say, on every pattern, anybody can do it. You just have to go step by step. Okay, let's sew these shut. Okay, and then you can trim that. And let's do the other side. Okay, that was really tight there, so I'm just going to go over that one more time just to make sure. There we go. There we go. That's better. All right, next step. All right, so the next step is to put our tape on here. And I'm taping my side seams open just with about a 3/4 of an inch piece of tape, just so those will lay nice and flat. So that's just taped that top piece. And then we're going to add our tape just above that second line that we drew. And keep it close to that line. That way it stays out of your top stitching. Okay. Now we'll fold that down. After I clip it. Clip half of your seam allowance. Don't go beyond that. Okay, I'm going to put a clip here on the sides where it's thick. So that's what you should have. Huh. So cute. All right, now, I think she tells you to put it in the bag, but let's just verify that. Yep. Okay, let's put it inside our bag. And I'm going to put the slip pocket on the back of the bag. Yeah. Let's match our sides. All right, let's top stitch it. And I think I'm going to start on one of the sides because we are going to put some, the crossbody connector over the side. So I'm going to start right there. All right, so take your connectors and trim one side on both. So just like that. And then I put a piece of double-sided tape down the center. Now these are connected with, oh dear, these are connected with rivets. So just be aware of that and what you use for this because it's going to get pretty thick. When you put it on. So now we're just going to fold that to the center. That's one reason why I use the cork as opposed to the leather, the faux leather. I thought the cork wouldn't be quite as thick. We'll see. Okay, so now we're going to sew on either side. Oops. I'm not sure why I did that, but okay. Oh. I'm having real trouble knowing that on my surgical side I have the knee pedal up. Isn't that funny? Never in my life have I had that kind of an issue. It's just that side is numb. That's all right. It'll be fine. So these get folded over a couple times. And then you have to go through the thickness of your bag. So that's why I'm saying be careful what you choose for your connectors. Okay. All right, let's put our D-ring on. I'm going to fold that down. And then we're folding that up. Let me just look here. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to use some 1/4 inch. I'm going to do it just a hair different than she does it. Just because I don't want anything to be seen like this. So this is going to go on the inside. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I'm folding these down just about a 1/2 inch. That way they're not in where my rivets are gonna go. Yeah, I much prefer that. Now I'm gonna trim this off. Yeah. So there, that's what I have. So now we're putting 4 rivets there. You could sew it on if you wanted to. Okay, let's do it with this other side. I mean, even though I'm using cork, it's still thick with all that faux leather. Okay. We'll see. I mean, this is cork, so you could really have a raw edge if you wanted to. Okay, where's my other D-ring? Let me find my other D-ring. Oh, fell. All right, so I've got double-sided tape on each side. The thing I am going to be, excuse me, very careful about is that I stay away from my side seams so that when I put rivets on, I'm not going through my threads. Okay, so that's what I have. Let me just make sure. Yeah. I don't know if I like this, honestly. I don't know. I haven't quite decided. So I gotta find my center. It feels a bit bulky to me, but we'll see here. So that's what you have. is very thick. It's going to be very thick. I don't know. I'm going to think about this. Hold on. All right. So I really worked on this and made a correction. This was way too thick to go through with rivets. They just wouldn't go all the way through, and I don't think they would have stayed. So all I did was do 2 rows of stitches here instead, and it looks fine. So now I'm going to do the same thing over here. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to get it very even. In fact, I'm just going to mark it with my marker. My D-ring is sticking. Okay. So, because, yeah. All right, let's give that a whirl. I think next time I would do the connectors inside the side seam. Yeah, it's just too much thickness. All right. See, even my machine has a hard time. All right, let's do it. Okay. So 2 good rows of stitches going back and forth. See, that one's not, that didn't even catch. Okay, just a second. All right, so that'll look better when I clean it up, but there it is on the inside. It caught. I had to do that over. All right, and then we're going to do 1 stitch up towards the top. And then we will be done with this. Okay, let's see how we did. Let's clean it up. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I wish I could put rivets there. They just will not. They won't go through, which is disappointing. It really depends on your materials, so. All right, let's attach everything. and I'll show you. All right, 1 second. All right, guys, here's the Bella Bucket Bag by Oro Rosa. So you have your 2 handles here, which I really kind of like. I think it adds actually a fair amount of how it looks, difference. And then you have a crossbody strap, adjustable. So there's the front, there's the bottom with 4 feet, there's the back with It's a Beautiful Thing. And then on the inside, I did make my zipper placket an inch longer, which I like. So you just open that up, and on the inside, you have a slip pocket on one side, and then a divided zipper pocket, a divider zipper pocket. And it's connected on the bottom and the sides. So if you put something in one side, it's not gonna seep over into the other side. I really like that. And there's plenty of room. There's lots of room, really. The Bella Bucket Bag by Oro Rosa. Very, very cute. It's a good size bag. Here, I'll stand up. Let me back up. So it's a fairly good size bag. Isn't it gorgeous? Oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. Then if you just want to carry it with straps, they're both detachable. So you don't have to have them both on. But if you want to do this and go, you know, you're at the market and you just want to do that, or if you want to have your hands free, you can use the crossbody strap. Very, very cute. I love it. So thanks for watching. Be sure to click like, subscribe, and comment.